All right. Happy Monday, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people. Okay, I hope y'all are in a good mood. I'm in a pretty good mood. I'm tired, but I'm in a good mood. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of them days. It's like, I could use another nap, but overall, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm chilling, but, I think I might go back to sleep type of thing. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, happy Monday again. Happy full moon day. Happy super blue full moon day. Okay, we got a lot going on today. So y'all know usually I will do a full astrology breakdown for the day, but because it is a full moon day, we're going to pay attention to that. And just kind of make the moon, make the divine feminine energy the star of the show today. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to let all the other planets have no shine today. I'll do a astrology breakdown tomorrow, okay? But today is all about the moon. And there's a lot going on with the moon today. So this is why she needs her own show, okay? And we're just going to give her little space to thrive, okay? Because she got a lot that she wants to tell us about and a lot of different things that she is addressing today, okay? So I'm going to be speaking on her behalf. So first of all, let me just give an overall explanation of what's going on with this moon, why this moon is so powerful, and how to use it, okay? Because not only is it a full moon, but like I said, it's a super moon, and it's also a blue moon, okay? And it's in Aquarius. So it's a lot going on. Okay, so I'm going to explain everything first in regards to the moon, and then we're going to get into this reading for today. This is a general reading. However, I am doing a reading special today. And the topics are life purpose alignment, ancestor messages, chakra alignment, and what's blocking me. Okay, if you are interested in that, there's a 7-card reading for 2222. If you do want that reading, feel free to inbox me on any of my social medias. You can also shoot me an email. And yeah, we can go from there. Okay. If you don't remember the topics, but you're interested in the reading, again, just feel free to inbox me. Anybody can inbox me on here. And I will respond promptly when I get off of here, because that's what I'll be doing the rest of the day is the reading special. Okay. Now, so again, it is a full moon, right? We know that full moons are all about releasing. Full moons are all about kind of getting into this place where you are restructuring, right? The new moon is all about planting your seeds. That's the best time to actually do manifestation work is with the new moon, okay? Because the new moon is new energy, right? Fresh energy, new energy, okay? The full moon is more so for releasing and redirecting, right? It's in the middle of the month. So it's almost like, okay, I planted my seeds. I, did all of the groundwork. I put all of my, affirmations and manifestations into the atmosphere, into the universe, whatever. And I've been working on it so far, right? When I get to the full moon, it's time to kind of reflect and review. What have I been doing so far? How close am I to the things that I've manifested? Are there certain things that I need to let go of? Are there certain things that I need to do differently? Are there certain things that I need to approach differently? Sometimes there is manifestations that, start to come in usually around the time of the full moon or sometime after. But a lot of people focus on manifestations on a full moon, and that's just not the right energy to really be putting your manifestations into. You know what I'm saying? It's more so like a redirection or a reviewing period or a, what do I need to change, fix, correct, get on board, get on track so that I can receive my manifestations at some point, before the end of the month or the end of the moon phase, okay? Because we know that we are on a solar and a lunar phase, okay? So, that's the full moon portion of that. Now, the super moon, it is called a super moon because it is closer to Earth, okay? So wherever you are tonight, you may see the moon very, very close up. Okay, it may appear a little bit bigger. That's why they call it a super moon, because it's closer to the earth. Well, we know that the moon is within the atmosphere, you know what I'm saying? But it's closer to us, so it may appear to look a little larger in scale. Okay, and then the blue moon is to signify that it is another full moon within a condensed amount of time. Okay, so with all of that being said, this moon is super powerful. This moon is really about endings and new beginnings. Okay, especially with it being in Aquarius. Now, it is that the moon is in Aquarius specifically at 27 degrees. And y'all know I've been teaching y'all degrees. If you've been tuned in with me, you know we've been learning about the different degrees over here, because I like to give y'all all the information. Okay, it is specifically at 27 degrees. Okay, and what this basically means is this is really a time for, again, like death and rebirth type of energy. This is a great time for like old things dying off and new things beginning. This is a time for like originality, especially while we're dealing with Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is all about like original energy, and it's also about unexpected things, right? So with this energy, this is really going to pull you out of your comfort zone. If you have been struggling with getting outside of your comfort zone, if you have been struggling with, you know, taking a new approach, doing things differently, thinking differently, walking differently, talking differently, going after new things, okay, this is the perfect time to do so. Okay, if there are certain situations, people, places, and things that you want to leave in the past, this is the perfect energy to work with. Okay, a lot of times we are in a place where we get stuck or things are postponed because we have entered a new energy, but we're carrying old things into this new space. Okay, so if a lot of you guys have been feeling like certain things are just not moving the way that you want them to, or at the pace that you want them to, if you feel like you have been, you know, in like this revolving door type of energy, or, you know, continuously going through some of the same cycles, learning some of the same lessons, then this is a time to like get out of that. Okay, this full moon energy is really going to push you, and I want y'all to be prepared for that, because a lot of times y'all want things to happen in a certain type of way, or it's like you want your cake and you want to eat it too type of thing, and you just can't do that. Okay, there are certain things, like I tell y'all all the time, that are required of you for you to get to the things that you want. Okay, you can't do it all your way and have it all your way. You know, you just can't have it all like that. Okay, there are certain things that you have to do, especially with this moon being in Aquarius, that is going to make you uncomfortable, right? Aquarius are fixed signs, if I'm not mistaken, and they don't really like change. They don't like rapid change. They don't like, you know, things to just switch. They don't like that. Okay, they like for things to be what they are, the way that they are, how they like it, until they are ready to do something different. And that's just, with that mixing with this moon, it's not given that. Okay, it's given very much so expect the unexpected. It's given very much so go with the flow, or stay with what you know. And the things that you're used to doing are not going to work in this new energy. And I've been kind of telling y'all that, you know, for the last at least week and a half, as we've been doing readings over here. All of my readings that I do on here are always posted on YouTube, so definitely go to my bio and click the YouTube tab so that you can subscribe there and watch all of the readings that we've been doing. All of my readings are timeless, so whenever you see it, it's for you. But if you've been here, you know we've been talking about getting out of your traditional ways of doing things, which is very Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius is all about originality, uniqueness, out of the box type of stuff. And this is amplified with this full moon. Now, also, going back to the moon's energy alone, we understand that the moon is feminine energy, and it represents emotions. It represents family. It represents like your emotional foundations. It represents like your relationships with the people that you love and care for as well. So this may be a time where either you get closer to some of the people that you have connection with, family, loved ones, okay? And when I say family, it's not just relatives, okay? This is people that you consider family. So your best friends or your loved ones or the people you grew up with, like whoever you consider family, okay? It's your business, not mine. You can either get closer to these people, or this is a time where it's finally time for you to let some of these people, places, and things go. Okay? And I know y'all don't really be liking that. Y'all don't really be liking to let go of things that have become a foundational part of your life. Okay? Which is very Aquarius. And this moon being in Aquarius is not really comfortable working with the moon, because the moon is very, very emotional and Aquarius is not. So you may kind of feel, overall, for everybody, you may kind of feel like this tug of war type of energy where, you know, your emotions, you're being called out emotionally. You're being forced to tap into emotions that maybe you didn't really want to address. But it's all happening to give you an opportunity to upgrade yourself, to move out of stagnant energy, and to move into something new. You know what I'm saying? Okay? Okay, sweetheart. First of all, we not about to do that, okay? Because if you understand anything about astrology, and you understand anything about birth charts, and you understand anything about zodiology or zodiacs, then you understand that we are composed of many different signs. Aquarius within itself is not an emotional sign. Okay? Just because you are an emotional Aquarius means that you have other signs that open you up to emotions. Okay? All right? So you can feel how you feel because you have your own birth chart. And this is what I try to explain to y'all all the time. Okay? Each sign has its own characteristics. Each sign has its own personal characteristics. But when you combine those signs with other signs in your natal chart, it will affect you differently. Okay? Aquarius at its core is not known to be emotional. They are air signs. They're known for their intellect and their originality and their ability to be unique. Okay? All right. So, keep it cute or get put on mute. You know what I'm saying? All right. Beautiful. Okay, so let's go ahead and tap into this reading. These are going to be general messages for everybody. Take what resonates for you and you only. If it don't resonate, if it don't apply, let it fly. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let's go ahead and tap in. Now, again, this is definitely a time to allow yourself to rest, especially emotionally. Again, with this energy of this full moon, there may be some uncomfortable things that you have to address emotionally. So if you're not someone who is usually comfortable with your emotions, then I really want you to kind of take some time for yourself. A lot of you guys may have already been feeling this energy as we have been slowly coming into this full moon energy. You know, we usually feel the energy of whatever astrological event at least 3 days before, and then the energy kind of lingers 3 days after. Let me make you a moderator. Okay. So yeah, so we usually feel the energy, 3 days before, 3 days after. So if you've already been kind of feeling the need to like rest, over the weekend specifically. If you've been feeling the need to, if you've been thinking more about like your feelings, or certain feelings and emotions have been bubbling to the surface, then it's all aligned with this super moon. Okay, I really want y'all to be kind to yourself during this phase as well, and even after this, okay, because some of y'all just not nice to yourself at all. Anyway, so I definitely want you to be kind to yourself, period, in general, right? But especially now, because anytime we are dealing with the moon is very, very feminine energy. The moon is known for its emotional characteristics, right? So based on who you are, and based on how comfortable you are with emotions and your divine feminine energy, whether you are masculine or feminine, you really want to make sure that you are prioritizing rest, and you're giving yourself time to really evaluate things, okay? Because when emotions are really high, sometimes that can have a negative effect on us depending on our plan of attack. Okay, so if you just like going into shit, you know, like full throttle, okay, specifically my air signs and my fire signs, you know, I'm gonna need y'all to you know, just take a breath, think about it, you know, before you just jump into it. Okay, just take a breath and think. You know, reflect on what you want to say before you go and approach that person. You know, take a minute to really formulate how you feel, and then go through with it. If tensions get too high in certain conversations, or if you just feel like you are just sensitive right now, emotionally sensitive, then just take some time for yourself by yourself. You know what I'm saying? I don't want y'all to, because sometimes emotions, you know, for everybody is different, and addressing emotions for everybody is different, and then you have like all of this shit going on astrologically. Sometimes it can make you all over the place, and you don't want to again approach things with the wrong energy and have it backfire on you just because right now tensions are high. Because then when things die down, you're gonna have to deal with whatever mess you made. You know what I'm saying? So don't just jump into anything just because you feel some type of way. Also, don't allow other people to affect your energy either. Because let's say that you may be in a good space right now. Let's say, you know, emotionally, maybe you've been doing your shadow work, so you're kind of, you know, kind of okay. But the people in your space, maybe they are more affected by this energy. So, you know, just play it smart as you can. This is a beautiful time to connect with your spirit team. Also, you know, intuition is very high. The moon also rules the intuition. So intuition is super, super high right now. So I really want you guys to listen to your intuition. If intuitively, you know, you feel like this may not be the day to address certain things, don't let nobody backdoor you. What do you mean by that, Poca? If you know that this is not the day, okay, for you to talk about certain things, address certain things, if you know that you're just not in the energy to deal with certain things, or you feel like you are emotionally drained already, don't let nobody try to force you into no conversation or try to force you into a corner, okay, where all you can do is just fight your way out of it, because that's just not going to be good. That's not going to be healthy. All right. Also, if there are certain people in your space that, again, want to start arguments, and this doesn't even necessarily have to just be in your space. This could also be like strangers. Okay, because a lot of people just don't know how to deal with their emotions, so they just lash out at people. Okay, this is like road rage, like, and we're still also going through a Mercury retrograde. So Mercury is still retrograding right now. It has moved from Virgo to Leo, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta go back and look. Either Leo or Libra. I gotta go back and look. It's left Virgo. I know that for sure. We're going to get into the Leo. Thank you. We're going to do the astrological breakdown tomorrow. So Mercury is now in Leo. All right. Ooh, and it's retrograding. That's a lot. Okay. Saturn is still retrograding in Pisces. Neptune is still retrograding in Pisces. just like, you know what I'm saying, if you gotta lock yourself in a room and put your phone on do not disturb, if that's the best thing for you to do, that's the best thing for you to do. Okay? If you're not ready to address certain things, there's a difference between, you know what I'm saying, not being in a space where you're ready to address certain things and then maybe just being a little timid, right? You know, a little, I don't want to say afraid, but just a little hesitant. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference. If you know tensions are too high for you right now, or emotions are too high for you right now, you don't have to address nothing. Don't let nobody force you into having no conversation that you're just not ready to have. Okay? Don't let nobody, you know, come at you crazy and get you off your square. Okay? Just don't let it happen. Okay? Because, you know, a lot of people don't necessarily think of the moon or moon energy when it comes to like lashing out, but it controls the emotions. Okay? And emotions don't just mean crying. A lot of y'all think when we say emotional, we mean that you gonna cry. That's not what we talking about all the time. Okay? Emotions can be mad, sad, angry, glad, happy. You know, emotions is a spectrum of different feelings. Okay? So move according to what you feel and what's comfortable for you. All right? Fuck what everybody else got to say about it. Move with how you feel. Okay? So for those just joining, this is a general reading. At the end, I'm going to pull messages for each sign, but the main portion of this is going to be for everybody. Okay? So I understand y'all love to rep y'all signs. Okay? Gang, gang. But this particular portion is for everybody, and then when we get into the personal signs, I'll let y'all know. All right? All right, first card out is experiencing. Okay? Again, tensions can be a little high. Okay? A lot of you guys can most definitely be, you know, kind of reflecting today. A lot of you, I feel like, have been thinking about and looking over past experiences, looking over what you've been through, looking over, you know, especially with this energy, a lot of you guys may be paying attention to the people who have done you wrong. A lot of childhood trauma could be bubbling to the surface because, again, the moon rules the family space. So mommy issues particularly, okay, the moon is heavy with maternal energy. So mommy issues may be on the forefront of this energy as well. Childhood traumas, especially dealing with like emotional childhood traumas. So like abandonment, you know, black sheep energy, feeling like left behind, left out, you know, things like that, specifically emotional traumas. Okay? And this is again why I'm telling y'all to really be kind to yourself, because when this type of energy comes up, especially when it has to deal with the maternal side of us, that's a very sensitive area for a lot of people. Okay? All right. And, you know, Spirit was giving me a couple of downloads over the weekend. And when it comes to healing, you know, specifically healing your parents or your parental traumas, a lot of times, you know, we think that the parent that wasn't around affected us the most. But really, the parent that was around is who affected us the most. Okay? And for a lot of us, our daddies wasn't in the house. So we can't really be blaming daddy for the things that make us who we are, or a lot of the things that we experience. We really got to put that blame on whoever we was in the house with. And for the majority of us, that was our mamas. Okay? And wherever your mother is emotionally, that is going to have an effect on you, especially as a child, especially in your developmental stages. So a lot of us have been negatively affected emotionally because our mothers were emotionally damaged. So like, this is the type of deep shit that this moon is kind of like trying to get y'all to start analyzing and dealing with. Okay? Because again, full moons are really mostly about releasing and reevaluating and redirecting yourself. And it being coupled up with this super moon and this blue moon, Spirit is trying to give you guys an opportunity to address certain things that need to end. All right, because this is taking a toll on a lot of y'all emotionally. It is causing you to either be a withdrawn adult. A lot of y'all don't like emotions. Let's just talk about it, okay? This is the day of emotions and feelings, okay? And the energy is super heightened right now. So we just going to have a little therapy session in this reading today, okay? A lot of y'all got mommy issues. It just is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. A lot of you guys are emotionally hurt. You have experienced certain trials and tribulations from your childhood, things that a lot of you it hasn't even registered for you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our deepest traumas, the things that affect us the most, we don't even really know that they're there, because they're buried so deep within our subconscious, and a lot of it started so early in our life that we've never really connected the dots to it, right? And this is the type of energy that's going to help you get the pencil and the paper and start connecting them dots. Because enough is enough. And that's basically what Mama Moon is talking about today. Baby, enough is enough. Enough is enough of you walking around holding on to all of these emotions. Enough is enough with you, feeling abandoned and operating out of that abandonment, right? Not really opening yourself up to love and experiences, right? Enough is enough with you being so hard on yourself emotionally, okay? Bullying yourself emotionally. Enough is enough, okay? For a lot of you also, you have been, chosen, and you chose for yourself to come back here and break a lot of these generational curses. And most of our generational curses, especially in our community, right, are maternal emotional wounds. A lot of the women in our families are emotionally fucked. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And with this full moon again being in Aquarius, we got to deal with the facts. Aquarius are fact-based. They're not emotional people. When it comes to making decisions, they make decisions more so on the information presented, right? So that being coupled up with this moon is forcing you to deal with the emotions, but to also deal with the facts of what you're feeling. You can't hide behind, oh, I'm good, nothing's wrong, like most of y'all be doing, and you're not good, and it's a whole lot of shit that's wrong. Mama Moon is not taking that for that's just not working. You're not good, okay? And you haven't been for a long time. And Mama Moon wants you to address them demons, them emotional demons that you got stuffed in the closet all the way in the back, that you think can't nobody see. Okay, that's where we are today. Okay, a lot of you are also, well, that's at the bottom of the deck, clinging to the past. A lot of you guys have also been in this place of isolation, right, because of your emotional traumas, where you really aren't giving yourself an opportunity to live. A lot of y'all are stuck in survival mode because that's all you've had to do. If a child if I was an elementary school teacher, so you get a lot of lessons. We do a lot of classes on early development, right? Early childhood development. And from infancy to about, I want to say 9, 10, 11 are some of the most crucial parts of a child's development. Okay? And whatever you are taught, whether it's somebody literally teaching you that, like they're saying it out their mouth and they're trying to teach you that, or whether you are taught it through action, that sticks with you. That becomes a part of your foundation. your mental foundation, your emotional foundation, and you basically continue to build off of that foundation as you continue to grow. All right? So a lot of things, again, we are not aware of because we picked it up emotionally. It was the actions that our parents, or specifically because we're dealing with the moon, our mothers, right? The actions towards us that affected us more than what they said. And then some of us were emotionally traumatized verbally on top of the actions. So not only are you emotionally triggered, but you were verbally abused, right? And a lot of it you don't even remember. So we just walking around carrying things that we didn't even know we picked up. And when we get into our relationships, when we get into our friendships, when we get into, those intimate spaces with the people that we love, we don't really know how to navigate that because we were never taught all of that. We was just taught how to survive, right? So for example, you know how like growing up, your mama come in the house and she didn't had a day because she didn't had to work, and she got her own trauma that she probably not aware of, and she just had a stressful ass day, and on top of that, your daddy not around, and she got to pay all the bills, and right when she come in the house, she yelling. Ain't no, hey baby, how was your day? Wop the wop, whoop the whoop the whoop. Come give me a hug, come give me a kiss. A lot of us didn't have no affectionate mama. And that's where you learn your emotional stability. You learn that from your mother, from your maternal side, right? Your mama teach you how to deal with your emotions. But if your mama don't know how to deal with her own emotions, what do you think she taught you? She taught you how to survive. Because that's all she know how to do. Right? So a lot of this starts from, again, you being a child that is not getting that emotional stability or that emotional love and attention and, gratification that you need in order to be emotionally, where you need to be, period. All right? On top of the fact that a lot of us were in our mama's stomachs baking during the time of her being traumatized. So not only did you deal with emotions out of the womb, you soaked up a lot of how she felt while she was pregnant and you was in the womb. So we fighting demons, again, that we didn't even know existed, on top of generational curses. Because the mother, again, in your womb, let's take it to science, your womb has memory tissue. So the same way that you retain memories within your brain, your womb, which is the second brain, right? They call your gut the second brain, has memory tissue, right? And it holds memory. Sexual trauma memories, emotional trauma memories, spiritual trauma memories, whatever your mama went through, it's soaked into the fibers of her womb, and then you baked in that. So we're talking about deeply rooted things. Okay? And this is why I say be kind with yourself as you're going through this process. Be kind to yourself as you're starting to peel back the layers of this energy, because it's a lot. Okay? It's a whole lot. And of course, a lot of us don't want to deal with it because we have never been comfortable with emotions, because we have emotional wounds. We have emotional traumas, right? I feel like a lot of you also, are uncomfortable because, if you was a child who never was able to talk about how you felt, and your parent was there to help you through those things, you become emotionally unavailable because you don't trust people with your heart. So it makes a lot of us very cold Because it's like, I'm not opening up to you. I don't trust you motherfuckers. Because when I was a kid and I was trying to tell people that they hurt my feelings and that I felt this type of way, everybody told me, you know, whatever. No, you don't feel that. You not depressed. Children can't be depressed. I cannot stand that sentiment to this day. Okay? I was told that growing up all the time. You too young to be depressed. You ain't got no job. You don't have to pay no bills. It's like, bitch, I didn't know that depression was subjective to paying bills and having a job. What the fuck? I didn't know I had to have a 9 to 5 in order for my feelings to be hurt. Okay, like, what the hell is you talking about? And it turned me, and this is me speaking on my personal stuff, because y'all know I'm an open book. It turned me into a person that is very hard on the outside. Thank you for the gift, baby. Very hard. Like, emotions, what is that? Ew, feelings. Like, I don't want to, why is you crying? Okay, I was the type of, eventually, I don't cry. I don't want to talk about all that. You know what I'm saying? I could really feel some type of way, but I'm not going to let you know that because I don't trust you. Why? Because my emotions were never taken care of. I never had a safe place to put my feelings. And this is what spirit is kind of bringing to the surface with a lot of us. A lot of us are emotionally wounded so bad that it has turned into anger and coldness. And we just think like, oh, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I just don't be crying. No, baby, you never felt safe enough to cry. You know? Oh, I don't care. Oh, you want to cut me off? That's fine. I don't care. Oh, you don't want to talk to me no more? That's fine. I don't care. Oh, you want to break up? Oh, that's fine. I don't care. You do care, boo. You care. But you don't want that person to know you care because you cannot, you weren't able to be vulnerable. Right? As a child growing up, you weren't able to be vulnerable. So you looked at being vulnerable as like a deadly sin. It's like, I don't want to go back to feeling, you know, vulnerable and feeling exposed emotionally because all the other times that I felt exposed emotionally, this happened and that happened and this happened and that happened. So it's almost like it's a trauma response, right? And for a lot of y'all, it's taking a toll on your relationships with people. For a lot of you, it is making it hard for you to communicate. For a lot of y'all, your emotions become anger very, very quickly, right? Because if we're being honest, a lot of y'all, our mamas was angry black women. Let's just call a spade a spade. What are we talking about? They was angry. And they had every right to be angry. But they also had to be responsible for dealing with those things and not putting it on their children. And a lot of y'all got children. And you need to be very, very careful with repeating the cycle. Whatever you don't address directly, you will repeat subconsciously. Okay? So not only just with my people with children, but just in relationships, right? Spirit can't give you the person that is for you or allow you to maintain a relationship with the person that is for you, whether that's romantic, whether that's platonic, whether that's your friends or the people that you love, if you are going to be damaging to them. If you're walking around angry, right? I always say anger and rage are just emotions that is really just hurt and pain unaddressed. That's really all that it is. When you continuously deal with certain things over and over and it's not addressed, it is going to fester. And it's going to basically take this snowball energy where it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then now you mad. Now you upset. Now you got an attitude problem. Now you don't know how to talk to people. Now you always on go. Right? And a lot of the people who truly love you and want to be in your space, they don't know how to deal with that. And they don't deserve to deal with that. The same way you didn't deserve for your mama to put that shit on you. And if it wasn't your mother, if this energy is not your mother, it's whatever maternal figure was in your space. Okay? Even if you was raised by your father, whatever he was taught about his femininity affected you. Because some people was raised by their daddies, but their daddies didn't have good mamas. So, you know, same shit. Okay? What else is your spirit? I feel like trees and nature, trees specifically, but nature is going to be so therapeutic for y'all as well. Spend as much time in nature as you possibly can. Also, water. Water and trees specifically are the two things that I keep seeing. And we've been talking about water a lot lately. Again, water, you know, deals with the emotions. Water represents emotions anyway. I feel like those two things specifically are going to be very, very helpful and therapeutic. So I'll tell y'all all the time, if you have a tree in your neighborhood, build a relationship. And that may sound like some cock-a-doodle-doo, like weirdo shit, but when you understand the energy that trees have, you'll understand why that's important. Okay? And trees also represent the root chakra. They represent grounding or being grounded, right? And a lot of us are not emotionally grounded. Meaning little things can happen in our life, or certain things can happen, and we just take off. Okay? We just going 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction, because it's affecting us emotionally, but we were never taught how to deal with our emotions. So you can only do what you was taught to do. And if the women in your life just taught you how to be angry, then that's how you're going to, you know, show your emotions, through anger. Or if they taught you how to withdraw. Like for me, in my household, you know, my mother, when she felt some type of way, it was an attitude, and she was very withdrawn. She would go in her room and want to go to sleep, or be on the phone with whoever she wanted to talk to, or just be away, right? Just withdraw physically. And we knew just not to bother her, because she was on one, right? And that's a detrimental thing for a child. Period. I don't care how old you are. Like, that's not okay. Okay? And it taught a lot of us to do the same thing, which is why when a lot of us go through things, we go to sleep. We don't talk about it. We don't try to address it and work the problem out, because we wasn't shown that. We were shown, I'm going to get an attitude. I'm going to get annoyed, right? I don't want you touching me. I don't want you looking at me. I don't want no hug. I don't want no kiss. I don't want none of that. I want you to leave me alone so I can lay down. And that's not how you deal with things, right? So, again, this is a time to kind of reflect. You know, what have I been taught, or how have I been taught to deal with my emotions? How have I been taught to address the things that are going on in my life? Was I taught to face them head on? Or was I taught to kind of run away from it and distract myself? Because sleep is a distraction. Period. Okay? Sleep may make you temporarily not be in that emotion, but it never solves the problem. Which is why, you know, once you wake up, you right back here. It's not addressing anything. You know what I'm saying? It's not fixing anything. Whether that is you physically sleeping, or whether that is you just shutting down. A lot of people just shut the fuck down. It's just like, listen, I don't even feel like dealing with this shit. So do not disturb. You know what I'm saying? Or just going in the dark. People don't hear from you, see you for a couple days. They don't know what the fuck going on. You just in your own little hermit mode in your shell, right? Or can't nobody say nothing to you. Can't nobody, you know, touch you, hug you, love up on you, because you're so emotionally just like at your wit's end that any little thing now is annoying the fuck out of you. Okay? And that's just not that's just not okay, right? So again, this goes back to shadow work. Anytime those type of things start to come up, anytime you find yourself in those type of patterns, shadow work, shadow work, shadow work. Childhood trauma healing specifically, all right? A lot of y'all need to get a journal. It's okay to not want to express certain things, right? Because a lot of us, you have to baby step yourself. Don't rush yourself through anything. Don't try to force yourself to have no conversation that you know you're not ready for. Don't try to force yourself to show up in a way that you're not ready for. Number one, communicate with the people that are in your space how you are feeling. It's okay for you to feel irritated and annoyed and angry and upset and don't want to talk to nobody. But are you communicating that to people? Or are you just being a bitch? Whether you're a female or a man, don't matter. Are you just being a bitch? You know what I'm saying? And then expecting for people to just understand. Like, no. We're grown, okay? At some point, you're going to learn how to activate that throat chakra. Hey, look, today is just not the day. I don't, and you don't even have to know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with me right now, but I just know I'm not in a space where I want to talk. Simple. And if they can't understand that and respect that boundary that you've laid out, then you need to just remove yourself from that environment. This is when we get into moving like an adult and rectifying that childlike energy. Because the child within you is basically throwing a temper tantrum. The child that was never heard, the child that was never loved, the child that, you know, nobody was paying attention to, that part of you is throwing a fucking temper tantrum anytime you are uncomfortable. Or anytime certain things are going on in your life that you don't like or that you can't explain or that you don't know. Right? So you have to get to a place where you allow the adult version of you to speak for that energy. Because that child version of you never had anybody to communicate that. A lot of y'all may have even acted out as kids. But it wasn't because you was a bad child. But you was probably labeled a bad child. So you've been kind of just walking around like, fuck it. If you make me the villain, I'm going to be the villain. That's just been the energy for a lot of us. I took that shit on full throttle. Oh, y'all don't understand that y'all hurting me? My parents, y'all don't understand what y'all doing to me? Fuck it. I'm just about to go crazy then. I'm going to act out in school. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to cuss motherfuckers out. I'm going to be overly sexually active. I'm going to be hypersexual. I'm gonna do whatever. You want to make me the bad guy? I'll be the bad guy. And a lot of us have not gotten out of that energy. Maybe we're not doing all of the things that we used to do, but we still have not gotten out of that energy. We're still playing the villain role. And you don't have to be the villain no more, babe. Okay? This is the time to give yourself the love, the attention, the space, the emotional security that you wanted from your parents. You have to give it to yourself. Because at this point, and as you guys will learn, as you're healing from parental trauma specifically, they don't have a responsibility to be accountable for you to heal. Your healing is not contingent upon them saying, you're right, I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? I fucked up. I'm sorry. You probably will never hear that. So you have to get to a place where you understand that your healing is not reliant upon them being accountable for what they did. Your healing is all about you showing up for you in the way that you wanted somebody to show up for you. And that's a process. That's another thing. A lot of y'all want to rush the process because the feelings and the emotions that are being brought to the forefront are uncomfortable. So you're like, how do I just get the fuck over this shit, you know what I'm saying, real fast? How do I just elevate beyond this quickly? How do I just get out of this energy? How do I just, you know, take the edge off? And this is when we get into addictions. Whether your addiction is getting into relationships that you know you don't need to be in. Whether your addiction is smoking or drinking or sex. whether your addiction is spending, splurging, whether your addiction is going into hermit mode and closing yourself off from the world, okay? Whatever you do to cope, that's usually the time that we start leaning on our coping mechanisms. Okay? Yeah, the dream. A lot of y'all are still trying to create this perfect life, right? You know, and it just doesn't exist. You still want your parent to be that dream parent that you have always wanted them to be. You know what I'm saying? We all have a mental version of our parent that we wish that they were, right? And we're still chasing that energetically, emotionally. We're still craving that, but that may never be your reality. And there's a level of acceptance that comes with healing from your childhood wounds, and that part is the hardest part. Accepting that you may never have that is usually the hardest part of this whole thing, because you basically have to take that little dream you got and crumble it up and throw it away. But this is a dream that you have been putting together for a lot of us your whole childhood. This is something that you've been craving for years. Most of us is in, our 20s, 30s, 40s. We getting up there and trips around the sun. I don't like to say age because we don't age. But we're getting up there as far as wisdom and trips around the sun. Right? And we have been creating this dream version of our parents for a very long time. So letting that thing go makes it more real that they probably will never be that thing. And that's one of the hardest parts, right? Which is why a lot of people get inconsistent with their healing journey when it comes to childhood trauma. That's usually the area of healing that makes a lot of people become inconsistent and just go back to their old ways. Because it's like, I'm not ready to address that. I'm not ready to accept that I will never have that version of my parent. Right? And then you have a situation for a lot of people, especially if you have siblings, where maybe you feel like your sibling has that version of your parent and you don't. That's a whole nother can of worms. All right? When you feel like somebody else is getting something that you're not getting. What the hell? Especially if you're the oldest, you know what I'm saying? Or if, your parent just strongly dislikes who they made you with. You know what I'm saying? That's when you get into, you act just like your daddy. You look just like your daddy. That type of shit, Woo! Whole nother can of worms. Whole nother can of worms. Because it's like, why not me? That goes back to abandonment. That's abandonment. Because what makes them better than me? Right? Now that's a deep wound. I experienced that myself to this day. My mama got her favorite. I'm the only girl and she loved her boys. Okay? Now you got to unpack that. Mothers who gravitate more to their sons have daddy issues. They also have a very, very horrible relationship with women. Specifically, they got mommy issues too. Okay. We got the Fool card. Again, this energy is going to require you to do things that you've never done before. It's going to require you to think of this situation in ways that you've never thought about it before. It's going to require you to get out of, a certain way of analyzing, a certain perspective, and look at things from a wider lens, right? A lot of times we so up close onto things, so up close and personal with things, that we can't really see the full scope. We can't really see the full picture of it all, right? So this is why I say, you know, if you need to take a step back and spend some time with yourself, not if you, Spirit is saying you need to. This is not a suggestion. This is a requirement. Okay? Yeah, a lot of y'all spirit team is like, we not asking no more. We telling you to take some time for yourself. We're not asking no more. We're telling you that it's time that you address this shit. Because the version of you that is going to be living those manifestations is not this version of you currently. And that's the part that we don't understand about manifestation. You can't just be any version of you and have all of these big, beautiful things that you want. No. Those things require a specific version of you. Does that mean that you got to be all the way healed? No. There's no such thing as being all the way healed. There's always something that we're going to have to heal. There's always something we're going to have to deal with. There's always some changes that we're going to have to make in our life. That's just how life goes. Right? Perfection does not exist. But there are certain things that it's time for you to start addressing. There are certain, you know, challenges that you gotta, or hurdles that you gotta get over in order to get to that. It just is what it is. Okay? And a lot of you have been trying to do it your way because your way makes you comfortable. Your way doesn't force you to deal with the things that you know that you need to deal with. Your way allows you to kind of take a shortcut. And Spirit is saying there is no shortcuts for these manifestations. Now, you can either not do shit and also not get shit, or you can do the work and get everything that you want plus more. It's up to you. We have free will. Okay? I told y'all it's time to rest. Get some fucking sleep. And when I say sleep, I don't necessarily mean, again, just going to sleep. Okay? Even though some of y'all probably do need to actually rest your mind and your body, literally, and go to bed, I don't want you to think of getting your rest and going to sleep as, again, an escape. Because I don't want y'all using that as an escape. Okay? More so resting your energy, resting your mind. If you have been feeling called to meditate more, this is the time to do so. You're being called towards those things for a reason. If you've been thinking about yoga, or you've been thinking about, again, spending more time in nature, or exercising, or if you've been cooking more, you've been feeling that it's more therapeutic, or you've been called to cook more, or whatever. Like, meditation shows up in so many different ways. If you've been, you know, wanting to just get in a car and just drive and cut the fucking music off, or put on your favorite music, or whatever the case is, okay? Allow yourself to go with the flow, because rest looks different for all of us. And this is why, you know, our journeys are customized to us. And when you start looking at other people's shit and looking at other people's journeys and then comparing your stuff to that, this is why a lot of y'all be lost. Okay? Because what you eat don't make me shit. You know what I'm saying? What works for you may not work for me. Okay? It just don't. What was going in a certain manner for you, you know, what exercises are helping you get to a certain place, may not help me get to that same place. So again, intuition is heightened right now. So if your intuition is telling you certain things, telling you to do certain things, to go certain places, to, you know what I'm saying, write certain things down, or whatever the case is, some of y'all need to get back into journaling. A lot of the things, for a lot of y'all, in the beginning stages of your journey, you were doing things and it was working and you was getting results. And then it got a little hot in the kitchen and you was like, fuck that. That's making me uncomfortable. Okay? And you kind of went back to doing your old shit. Go back to doing the things that were working. I don't care how simple it is. If you was fucking coloring, go back to coloring. You know what I'm saying? Simple things. It does not have to be complicated. And because we grew up in these complicated environments, we're so used to things being complicated, we think that that's a requirement. Like, I'm not doing it right if it ain't hard and complicated. It's like, no, babes, it's not supposed to be complicated. That's why we have a whole intuition to make it way less complicated than it has to be. Okay? Girl, that's the sun going in between these clouds. So that's why y'all keep seeing the screen getting brighter and darker like that. You have a feeling you just can't shake. That little voice inside of you, listen to that shit. Like I just said, your intuition is so heightened. And there are certain things that Spirit is not allowing you to just push to the back burner anymore, because you're at a crucial point in your journey. A lot of you guys are going through another level of spiritual awakening. And I tell y'all all the time, we go through multiple spiritual awakenings on our journey. Right? The spiritual awakening that you had that brought you to this journey is not the only one that you will have. And you got to understand that. Because a lot of times, if you can't read the room and understand, like, okay, I'm going through another awakening, you're going to look at it as something negative happening. Right? You're going to take it as like, I'm doing something wrong. I fucked up, you know, whatever. So now all of this is happening. When really, Spirit is like, no, you're just at another door. You've made it to another door. It's time for you to open that motherfucker. Okay? And there's certain things that you got to do to open it. It's like escape room. All right? Every level that you go on is like an escape room. And there's certain keys. There's certain, you know, codes. There's certain things that you have to find and implement in order for you to unlock that next door. Literally. Right? And a lot of us have been emotionally trapped in a lot of these spaces, and Spirit is like, babe, it's time for you to get up out of this. Right? But you have to figure out the perfect recipe that is tailor-made for you and your journey. There are certain things that are required of you personally for your personal journey in order for you to unlock this door and make it to your next thing and receive, you know, the rewards for you doing the work. Because every level, there is a reward. Every time you beat your old self, because that's who we in competition with. We're not competing with these motherfuckers in our life. We're competing with our old self. We competing with all them damn traumas that's trying to constantly pull us backwards. Okay? And distract us. And keep us in these cycles. That's who we facing every day. We facing that old version of us that is comfortable, that is hurt, that is traumatized. That's public enemy number one. Right? So there's always, you know, parts of ourselves that we got to face. There's always a mirror on every level. And you know, I don't know if y'all ever been like to like the carnival or been to like one of those museums where it's like all the different mirrors, and you stand in front of one mirror and you real big, like your head real big and your body real small, and then you stand in front of another mirror and then it's like, you know, your body like a wave, and then you stand in front of another. It's like that. Like every level is a new mirror, and it's highlighting something about you and your energy that you need to fix in order to open that new door and get to that next level and receive the things that are on that next level. Okay? Spirit is also saying, be grateful. Gratitude is always the attitude. And a lot of times, again, we are in the energies that we're in and we feel the way we feel because we're always so focused on the negative. When you grow up in a negative environment and when there's always something going on to affect your emotions as a child, you always are waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're always focusing on the things that are going wrong, especially if you had a parent that always pointed out everything you did wrong and barely, if not at all, made you feel good about the things you did right or highlighted the things you did right. As a child, My parents, my biological parents, they were not the ones to highlight the things that I was doing right. They always knew where I was fucking up at. You know what I'm saying? My father was always ready to hand out an ass whooping, and my mother was always ready to cuss my ass out. And then the things that I did right, ain't nobody say shit. There was no good job, I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy. Mommy loves you. You know no, I didn't get all that. Right? So it turned me into a person who was always focused on what I was doing wrong or what was going wrong in my life. Never giving myself the credit for all of the work that I was doing and all the changes that I was making, and all the good things that was going on. And when you grow up in that type of environment and that becomes the norm, look, Spirit said, laugh, babe. Where's your sense of humor? At some point, you got to flip the switch. Okay? What Drake said, I just flipped the switch. You got to flip that motherfucker. Because if you don't, you are going to continue to recreate those emotions from your childhood over and over and over and over. And you don't need your mama or your daddy to come in and treat you the same way because you took on the job. A lot of y'all have taken on that position. Don't nobody need to bully you. Don't nobody need to be mean to you. Don't nobody need to point out your flaws, your insecurities, the bad things, because you're doing a great job of doing it to yourself. Don't nobody need to pick up the bat and beat you over the head because you're doing it for yourself. Okay? And then we start to attract people who will do it for us. We attract motherfuckers who only focus on the bad. We attract people who are emotionally unavailable. Period. Okay? People be trying to act like, when I say you attract who you are, no you don't. No you don't. You can attract anybody. Okay, goofy. Have you ever seen how a magnet works? The hell? If you're putting out something, you have to get that thing back in return. That's the way this universe works. You can't start making up your own goddamn rules. Whatever you put out, you gotta get it back. So if you're putting out emotional unavailability, you're gonna attract motherfuckers who are unavailable emotionally to your motherfucking ass. If you are bullying yourself, beating yourself up in certain types of ways, you're gonna attract people who do the same thing to you. Or people who do it to themselves as well. So now both of y'all in the house, both of y'all in a relationship, and both of y'all just be beating yourselves the fuck up. And it can show up in different ways. So it may not, the way I beat myself up may not be the way that you beat yourself up, but we both doing it. It just is what it is. So when you start to acknowledge the good, you attract more good to you. Right? I did a reading over the weekend for somebody, and Spirit was talking about reshaping the way that you think about abundance. And a lot of us have this false sense of what abundance is. We only equate abundance to money or materialistic things. But it's like, babe, if you could wake up and use your 2 arms and your 2 legs, you are very abundant. And if you can't find time to be grateful for that, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you only got a ham and cheese in the refrigerator. Somebody don't even got that. If you can't be grateful for that, then what the fuck? I don't care if you only got $4 in your bank account. Somebody don't got none. You have to find things to be grateful for. And if that means that you gotta, fight for it, I always tell y'all, fight for the light. You have to fight for it. It's not just going to show up on your doorstep. If that's the case, then we all would just be full of light and love. No, baby, you got to fight for that. That's a battle. Especially when you're used to just darkness and negativity. You got to fight for light and love. Hello. It just is what it is. All right? Yeah, Ace of Cups. This is really a time to deal with your emotions. And Spirit wants to put you guys in a place where, you know, understand that you're never going to be in a place where you just like Captain America when it comes to emotions. Like, oh, I'm just, you know, I just have all of my emotions completely under control. Like, no, it's a everyday type of thing. It's a day-to-day type of thing. One day you may be super good, and then the next day you like, fuck all this shit. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. You can kiss my ass. You can get the fuck out of my face. You're gonna have your days, right? This life is just, it just is what it is. There's always going to be something. And because we are continuously working on ourselves, you have to extend grace and compassion to yourself. If life is already mollywopping you, why are you picking up a bat and handing it to them? That's crazy. You got to be giving yourself something different. You got to be giving yourself the opposite. So if I'm already going through all of this emotionally, if life is already lifing, I can't also be mean to myself. I can't also not be compassionate and understanding to myself. Right? A lot of you guys are also facing, you know, being forced to understand the fact that it's not your fault that you were traumatized. You know what I'm saying? It's not your fault that your mama was the way that she was. It's nothing that you did wrong that made her treat you the way that she treated you, or made them people treat you the way that they treated you. It's nothing that you did wrong. I'm specifically talking about childhood trauma. You didn't do nothing wrong. You couldn't have been a better child. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was nothing that you could have done that would have made that person treat you differently. When a person is committed to treating you a certain type of way, it's not about you. It's about them. So a lot of you guys, Spirit is trying to help you understand, like, you can't take on their traumas. And a lot of y'all are taking on their traumas by blaming yourself or trying to find fault within yourself for the way that you was treated as a child. You can't be at fault for that, my baby. You didn't do anything wrong. You was just born. You was just born into some fucked up shit. Like most of us. It just is what it is, right? But now at your big ass age, you are responsible for getting yourself out of that energy. I tell y'all all the time, it's not your fault that you was traumatized, but it is your fault if you stay traumatized. That's when it started to be your fault. Because you too goddamn old. And you know right from wrong. And it's time for you to do the work. And if you have the ability to breathe, you have the ability to do your work. So it's not your fault that you are here. But it is your fault if you stay here. Okay? And this is why Spirit is bringing up a lot of, you know, touchy things. Yeah, Chariot. It's time to move out of this energy. It's time to move away from this emotional baggage. It's time to move away from these emotional traumas. And the only way to get through it is to go through it. You got to go through the process. You can't take the back door. You can't go around. You know what I'm saying? You can't try to finesse it. Like, no. You gotta face this shit head fuck on. You gotta show up and give yourself grace during the process. Give yourself understanding and compassion throughout the process, while also holding yourself accountable for where you are today. And that's really the hardest part, is that accountability. Because, again, it's not our fault that our parents treated us however they treated us. But it is our fault that we picked to be in relationship with certain people. It is our fault that we chose certain friends. It is our fault that we keep repeating certain cycles. It is our fault that we keep showing up with a certain energy. Walking around being negative, walking around being angry, walking around being mad. Those things are our fault. It may not be my fault that that nigga cheated, but it is my fault that I kept letting him come back. You know what I'm saying? That's accountability. It may not be my fault that, you know, these particular friends was fake. But it is my fault that I continue to be friends with these motherfuckers. And giving them chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. I gotta take that on the chin. I gotta look in that mirror and be like, you know, I love you, but you know that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? It may not be my fault that my traumas, the traumas that I experienced as a child, you know, put me in a space where I may have trauma bonded with certain people. But it is on me that I stayed as long as I stayed. That I dealt with them people as long as I dealt with them. That I allowed the toxicity to go on as long as it went on. I gotta take that on the chin. And again, that's not an easy thing to do. This is why compassion and understanding, the two twins, are very, very important with this. Because a lot of, you know, addressing a lot of that, you don't want to just beat yourself up. I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. How could I do this? Blah, blah, blah. That's not helpful. That's not helpful. Right? You just don't get nowhere with that. That's not going to help you. If anything, that's going to push you further away. Okay? We got the Nine of Cups. So, the Nine of Cups usually represents, you know, having, number one, certain things stored up. Right? Stored up things emotionally. But I always look at this card, and y'all know we're not religious over here, we spiritual, but I do have a lot of Bible scriptures that are, you know, very near and dear to my heart. Okay? And one of them is when it's a verse that basically talks about things being stored up for the righteous. Okay? And this is what Nine of Cups gives me. You have to get to a place where you basically start to store up things that you can use whenever you are experiencing trials and tribulations, or whenever you are experiencing moments where things are not going your way, or things are not looking the way that you want them to look. And a lot of this comes from, you know, dealing with the root chakra, dealing with the sacral chakra, dealing with your solar plexus and your heart chakra. We call that the lower chakras, right? And when you start to align those chakras, I tell you all the time, I have a chakra alignment journal on my website. Go get it. Okay? If you don't want to spend that money, just Google what does an unbalanced root chakra look like. Okay? It's going to gather you by the baby hairs, but it's something that you need to know so that you can get it aligned. What does an unbalanced sacral chakra look like? What does an unbalanced solar plexus chakra look like? What does the unbalanced heart chakra look like? Okay? Because the goal is not to, again, be perfect. The goal is to be balanced. And a lot of y'all are fighting for perfection because nobody ever taught you that you were good enough. So you've made up this thing in your head, this perfect version of you in your head. And you're beating yourself up to become that person. But that person does not exist. There is no perfect version of you. If anything, the fact that you have imperfections is what makes you perfect. If perfection exists, it exists through your imperfections. The fact that you got a you know, small nose or a nice little chunky nose, that makes you perfect, babe. The fact that your eyelashes are whatever length they are, that makes you who you are. The fact that you are petite, or you slim thick, or you know, got big boobies and a little butt, or a big butt and little boobies, or whatever, makes you who you are. It is the fact that you are not perfect that makes you the perfect person. So when you start to find, you know, peace in you being who you are authentically, that's getting into this Aquarius moon. Authenticity. Do I love myself as I am? The version that I am right now, I have to accept that version of me first before I can do any work on it. I got to accept me for who I am. Yeah, I may have a little attitude problem. I got to admit that. Yeah, I may have emotional issues. I have to admit that. Right? I use this example all the time. If there's something wrong with my car and I take it to the dealership or I take it to the repair people, okay, they have to do a diagnostics test first. What does that diagnostics test do? It shows them where the problem is. They can't just take the car and be like, we just gonna start working on it, because you don't know what the fuck you're working on. You haven't accepted it for what it is, the condition that it's in. You got to accept yourself for the condition you are in first, with all of the problems and the issues, so that you know where the problems are. If you trying to act like everything is good, then you can't address the problem. And if you can't address the problem, then you're just going to continue being problematic in whatever way that shows up. So acceptance, like I said, is usually the hardest part of it, especially if you were taught that the way you are was wrong from the beginning of your life, which a lot of us were taught that. A lot of us was just different. We was just, quote unquote, the black sheep. We was the different ones. We were just not accepted because we were so different. So you have basically created this false narrative in your head that different is bad. Different is bad. You know what I'm saying? Not fitting in with the crowd is bad. You know, not being like your siblings or like the people in your family is bad. You know, thinking in a different way that you think is bad. Being creative in a way that you're creative is bad. You know, looking the way that you look is bad. You know, you have equated the things that actually make you different and make you unique and make you who you are to being negative. So you have to address yourself as you are first. However fucked up that is. With all of the issues, with all of the problems, with all of the whatever you want to put on it. Oh well, accept it. Accept it. Look yourself in the mirror. Y'all need to start doing mirror work. Look yourself in the goddamn mirror and start talking to yourself. Hey girl. Hey boy. You know what I'm saying? I know you're a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I love you. You know, I know that, you know, your pinky toe may be a little long, but I love it. Look at this, 4 Pentacles. Admiring yourself for who you are. Hey, I know that, you know, whatever. That little eye, that little right eye may be a little lazy. You know what I'm saying? It may be a little cocked. But at the end of the day, you cute. You got, if you don't accept yourself for who you are, why should I? Why should they? Why should we? It just doesn't make sense. And a lot of us have put expectations on people that we can't even live up to. I just want people to accept me for who I am. You haven't even accepted you for who you are. That's the problem. You haven't even done that. I just want people to love me through my mess. You don't even love you through your mess. What the fuck? Again, we attract who and what we are. So if I'm not accepting me, how can I expect you to accept me? How can I even fix my lips to have an attitude or a problem when you don't want to deal with me and I don't even want to deal with me? Instead of me addressing my issues and problems, I go to sleep, or I eat, or I smoke, or I drink, or I fornicate, or I, you know, do whatever. Whatever you do, whatever your addiction is, whatever your coping mechanism is. You're not even addressing you for who you are. I want somebody to love me through this and teach me love. You supposed to teach you love by loving yourself. Let's get one more of these and then we're going to get some confirmation cards. I'm going to pull a card for each sign. Let's get one more. Woo. Wheel of Fortune, babe. It's time to change. It's time to turn the wheel. It's time to turn the wheel. It's time to do something different. It's time to take a new approach. Look, roll card at the bottom of the deck. It's time to take a new approach. Okay? And the new approach is self-love, self-acceptance, compassion, understanding. Right? Sometimes, you know, when we go to do our trauma healing, especially with childhood, when you start to understand your parents, it's not to excuse them. It's to understand it's not personal. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't personal. The way they treated you and the way they probably still treating you to this day, it's not personal. Because the way that you treated people, because of your trauma, wasn't personal. The way that you're treating people right now, because of your trauma, it's not personal. You just traumatized. You just got some work to do. And the difference between you and your parent is that you are in a space where you are consciously aware that you need to do work. And you are in a space where you are consciously aware that you got a spirit team and a higher self that is ready to guide you through that process. See, they were in the age of Pisces. They were not consciously aware of shit. And even if they was, they didn't have the tools to do their work. You got the tools. Even if the tools is Google. Even if the tools is you booking a service with Poca and I help you out. Even if the tools is you getting some books, watching a YouTube video. You got the tools, babe. Even if your tool, your only tool is awareness. Being aware that you got problems and issues. There's a lot of people who are not aware of shit. They out here just being a problem and they have no sense of awareness. You got to work with what you got and build off of that. All right? All right, so I'm going to go in order from, what's today's date? The 19th. So we just going to start with Virgo since we basically damn near in Virgo season. And I'm going to go in order from there. These are going to be one card per sign based on what you need to know based on this full moon. Okay? Again, the full moon is in Aquarius. If you want to go and research it and look it up a little bit more on your own time, feel free. All right, Spirit, let's get one card for Virgo based on the full moon in Aquarius. One card, please. Okay, that was two cards. I was about to say, ooh, Spirit was about to gag y'all. One card, Spirit. All right, Virgo, plant them seeds. All right, this is a time, again, for you guys to start new. Y'all are about to go into y'all solar return season. So this is a perfect time to do some new shit. Do some new shit. Think in a new way. Move to a new place. Some of y'all, if you've been thinking about literally moving, go ahead and do so. If you've been thinking about starting things new, getting back into routines that were new at one point, but you kind of strayed away from, whatever the case is, get it done. Get the ball rolling. Okay? This is also a time for y'all to start taking a new approach to your emotions. Okay? Virgo, y'all one of them signs that don't really like all the lovey-dovey, wubby-wubby stuff. Y'all not with all that. Okay? But that's also, if y'all tap into that energy, you will literally thrive. Because that is literally usually the thing that is holding Virgos back from getting to the place that they need to get to. And, you know, transitioning in a way that is healthy for y'all. All right? Libra. One card for Libra based on the full moon. Okay? Libra, Spirit wants to give y'all some confirmation. So you got Tuesday as confirmation, the color green. You could be seeing threes or things happening in patterns of threes. And dragonflies could also be significant. Now, with this green being highlighted, Spirit is wanting me to say heart chakra. Okay, Libra, y'all are already ruled by Venus. Okay, Venus is the planet of love. All right, and it's really important for you guys to balance out that love energy, especially when it comes to your relationships. So if there's certain conversations that you need to have, if there's certain things that you need to address, especially if you have been way too focused on just having somebody, that you haven't been focused on the quality of that person. Woo, Spirit, you just ate with that. Spirit said a lot of y'all so pressed to have somebody, you're not pressed, you're not focused on the quality of the people that you're choosing. And this doesn't just have to be romantic. This can also be friends, family, loved ones. Okay? Focus on the quality, not the quantity. All right? You don't have to just keep dealing with people because you've known them for a long time, or you've been in a relationship with a long time, or you've been friends for a long time. If the relationship does not have any quality, okay, basura. Throw the shit away. Trash. Amen? All right. Scorpio. One card for Scorpio for the full moon. Libra, Spirit also said pay attention to your dreams. One card for Scorpio. Full moon in Aquarius. Ooh, that flew out. Scorpio, Spirit says stand on business. Stand on business, Scorpio. Say what you mean what you say. Put your foot down. If you have been excusing certain things, whether that's in regards to yourself or whether that's in regards to other people, it's time for you to stand on business. Okay? If you've been letting people slide, if you've been allowing your loyalty to people to, keep you from holding them accountable for certain things, I'm going to need you to stop doing that bullshit. Holding people accountable. Deal with people in the capacity that they deal with you. Hello? Alright? Put your motherfucking foot down. Stand on your boundaries. Stop allowing people to step over your boundaries. Okay? Because Scorpio, y'all will allow a lot of things to happen because you love people. You allow it to go and go and go and go and go. And then you want to get to your wit's end, and then you want to act crazy and spaz the fuck out. No. It's time to start dealing with things as they happen. Don't allow things to fester. Don't allow things to continue to go on. Alright? Sagittarius. One card for Sagittarius for the full moon. Sagittarius, hibernation season is what Spirit is saying for y'all. Okay? Sit the hell down. That's what I just heard out of there. Sit your ass down. Y'all have been doing way too much. And Sagittarius, one thing that y'all like to do, you like to keep moving so that you can be distracted. All right? You like to keep it moving, keep it pushing. Things happen. Y'all just move to the next thing, go to the next place, no. Sit down, all right, and deal with the problems at hand. Don't just keep skipping past shit, okay? A lot of y'all have been moving and moving and moving and moving and moving. Take a seat so that you can address some of this stuff. Because one thing about Sagittarius is y'all will keep moving and moving and moving, think that you're avoiding dealing with things, but then that shit come back and bite you in your ass. So you have an opportunity to not have things come back when you're minding your business and bite you in your ass. You know what I'm saying? Just deal with it as it comes so that you can process it and get over it, and then you don't have to worry about that thing haunting your ass. All right? All right, Capricorn. One card for Capricorn. Full moon in Aquarius. Let's see. Ooh, that's too many. One card for Capricorn. Well, god damn. That flew. And it flew behind me. And it says you are what you seek. And it flew behind me. Okay? So Capricorn, I feel like, this is like something that you guys are not seeing. Right? Capricorns, you guys are ruled by Saturn, so there's always some bullshit going on. Unfortunately, that's just a part of, Capricorn's experience in life. Y'all just always got some shit going on. There's always something to address, something to deal with, always something, that you got to fix or approach or whatever, right? So, Spirit wants you to remember that you are what you seek. all of the answers that you need to get past these moments, because it's always a lesson. There's always something that Spirit is trying to teach my Capricorns. And a lot of times y'all don't see it because, almost like Sagittarius, y'all like to avoid things, but y'all avoid it with like work. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes y'all just be working that you don't realize, like, yeah, you working, but you're not really working on the things you need to be working on, and that's kind of why you're not seeing no results. You know what I'm saying? You do what you are comfortable with doing. You know, you can get to the bag. You can distract yourself with literally working, okay? But there are certain things that you have to address, okay? And for a lot of you guys, I feel like Spirit wants you to address a lot of this emotional codependency that y'all have. Y'all can be a little emotionally codependent, meaning when things go on in your emotional life, or when things start to happen with the people that you're emotionally connected to, that will ruin y'all whole shit. It will affect you in a whole bunch of different ways that maybe you don't see at first, okay? So I really want my Capricorns to kind of go into hibernation as well, just like Sagittarius, but more so that y'all can be guided to where the problem is. Because it don't matter if you're doing a whole bunch of work, but you're not addressing a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know what I'm saying? I could be hammering a nail, but if the house is over here and I'm hammering the nail over there, it don't matter how much work I did. It didn't help me build the house. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing, okay? So it's nothing wrong with you being a hard worker, because it's within y'all. It's in your nature to be hard workers, right? Y'all ruled by Saturn, the planet of hard work and discipline, right? But you want to make sure that you're putting that work towards something that you're going to get a return for, all right? Aquarius, 999, closure, completion, endings. This is a time for y'all to prepare for new. And this is spot on with what this full moon is about. It's literally about, like I said in the beginning, ending old things and preparing for new things. And this is what Spirit wants y'all to do. And for a lot of my Aquarius, again, this is dealing with your emotions. It's time to close out the old ways that you've been dealing with emotions and feelings. It's time to do some new shit. Take some new approaches. And this is going to make you, of course, get out of your comfort zone. This may make you a little uncomfortable. This may make you, a little hesitant. But I promise you, if you give yourself the space to just go for it, you're going to get amazing results. Because it's time, this is literally y'all season. We're in the age of Aquarius. So Aquarius, y'all are going to be going through a lot of different transformations anyway. Because that's just the energy that we in. Right? So I don't want y'all to take it, I don't want you to take it personal, but it is personal. Spirit is not just beating up on you. They just want you to be your best. So if there's certain things that you need to address, if there's certain things that you need to stop doing, if there's certain things, ways that you need to stop thinking, just do it. And it's not about perfection, Aquarius. It's just about every day you doing something that is better than the day before. As long as that's the energy, you'll be fine. All right? Take your time with it. Don't rush into anything. Okay? All right. Pisces. Full moon messages for my Pisces. I'm going to take this one because it fell out. Pisces, you got the moon. Okay? Pisces, your intuition is already very heightened because you guys are ruled by Neptune, which is one of the most spiritual planets, right? So y'all are already very, very highly intuitive. However, I do feel like there's certain things that are going to be revealed with this full moon, Pisces, for you guys to start addressing emotionally, right? Pisces, you guys also really, really operate within illusions. And sometimes you guys can create false scenarios in your head that make you feel comfortable. And I feel like this full moon is really going to start pulling you out of some of these fake ass scenarios that you done put together, and force you to address reality so that you can move forward. Because for some reason, y'all intuition be on point, but you don't want to accept it. So you like, fuck what I know. I'm going to go for whatever I want to create in my head. So I don't give a fuck that the sky is actually blue. I'm more comfortable with it being purple. And Spirit is like, we don't care what you're comfortable with. You need to acknowledge that motherfucker's blue. It just is what it is. Okay? Especially when it comes to relationships. I feel like, Spirit may be giving y'all some hard truths with this full moon when it comes to relationships and the way that, and the role you play in your relationships. Okay? Because a lot of people are fucked up, but Pisces, y'all be allowing them to be fucked up. That's a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? You are who you are, but I don't have to allow that into my space. Like, I don't have to allow that shit. Alright? And that's kind of what Spirit is trying to teach y'all. Like, y'all see all the good in people and what they can be and all of that, but if they are not that right now, you got to deal with who they are right now. Not who you can envision them to be, or not the version of them that you created in your head. Alright? Message. Okay. Aries. One card for my Aries for the full moon in Aquarius. Aries. Alright, there we go. Aries, y'all got breaking generational traumas. Okay? So, generational traumas, childhood traumas, family trauma is going to be highlighted for you guys during this full moon. Aries, y'all are a sign that I really want you guys to be careful with this, because y'all way of dealing with things, especially with emotions, is it usually comes out as anger or abrasiveness. So I really want y'all to be gentle with yourselves during this time. Whatever things are being highlighted, take it with a grain of salt and give yourself like extra doses of love and extra doses of compassion. Okay? Because y'all are fire. So I want you to really, really be very compassionate and sensitive when it comes to this particular phase of breaking these generational traumas and curses. Okay? Don't go off on no tangents. Don't be out here cussing motherfuckers out. Because y'all, Aries are actually very emotional. And I don't mean like, crying all the time. But they are in tune with their feelings. They just don't show it in the best way all the time. That fire kind of gets in the way, of them being able to really show you how they feel, right? So I want y'all to, think before you speak. And if tensions are too high, save it for another day. Deal with it with yourself. If you want to cry, if you want to scream and all that, do it within the confines of your own energy. Don't be out here spazzing on people. All right? Taurus. One card for my Taurus. Full moon. Taurus, you guys have new moon energy coming out. All right? So, kind of like Virgo, this is a time for you guys to plant new seeds. This is also a time for you guys to envision some new goals. Taurus, I feel like y'all goals are outdated. And Taurus, y'all are the sign, again, y'all are ruled by Venus as well. So y'all are all about, the beauty of things and love and connection, relationship and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of y'all approaches to certain things are very much so outdated. Like a lot of y'all are still operating out of old energy or old perspectives when it comes to what is beautiful, when it comes to what is actually luxury, when it comes to what is actually love. Okay? Spirit kind of wants y'all to go back to the drawing board and get a new understanding of what love looks like and what beauty really is, and what luxury really is outside of materialistic things, outside of, you know, it coming in the way that you want it to come. Okay? Gemini. One card for my Gemini for the full moon. Okay? Gemini, your guides want your attention. Y'all need to meditate. I feel like specifically, Geminis, you guys need to get back into your breathing. Gemini rules the lungs. Okay? And if you're not breathing, all right, or taking a breath, taking a moment to breathe, taking a moment to evaluate, okay, you could be all over the place. All right? Anxiety, worry, overthinking, all of that is you know, your usual norm, because you're not taking time to breathe and take a minute. Okay? So kind of like Sagittarius, y'all know that's y'all twin. Sit down a little bit. You know, use this time to meditate, use this time to rest, use this time to tap in with your spirit team. I also feel like, Gemini, there's certain things intuitively that your guides are trying to tell you about your next steps. And you can't get these messages if you all over the place trying to do everything. It's okay to take a day. It's okay to sit down for a moment. All right? Things are not going to fall apart just because you took 24 hours. All right? Tap in with spirit. Tap in with your ancestors and your spirit guides, your higher self. Okay? Cancer. One card for Cancer. Full moon in Aquarius. Cancers, it's time to reflect, my loves. It's time to reflect. Take some time to reflect. Okay? Spirit wants you guys to look at some things from a different perspective, Cancers. Okay? I feel like, Cancers are ruled by the moon. So it just makes sense, you know? Take some time today to just reflect. You don't have to have all the answers, Cancer. All right? You don't have to have all the answers. Sometimes you just need to sit and think. Think about where you are. Think about where you want to be. Think about, how your life is going. What things you may need to change, or what ways you need to transform, or figuring out your next steps. All right? Last but not least, my Leos. One card for my Leos for this full moon. Spoil yourself, Leos. Spoil yourself. Do something good for you. All right? Leos, I feel like, y'all are one of the signs that is underrated when it comes to taking care of people and being emotional. Like, Leos are very, very emotional people. When it comes to wanting to take care of the people that they love, they are very big protectors, right? But Leo, your job is not to save everybody. Your job is not to protect everybody all the time. All right? Sometimes you need to save some of that good old protective energy, that good old loving energy for yourself. So spoil yourself. Self-care. Okay? Take some time to do something for yourself. Whatever makes you feel good. Okay? Also, Leos, when y'all go through things, y'all withdraw from people a lot. And this is why people can kind of see y'all as being a little wishy-washy in y'all energy, because Leos are very prideful. Y'all don't want people to know that you're going through stuff, so you just step away or you hide it, right? And a part of spoiling yourself is self-care. A part of self-care is paying attention to how you feel and dealing with the things that you feel. Okay? All right, my love bugs. Hopefully that resonated. Again, I am doing a special for 7-card readings today for 2222. The topics are life purpose alignment readings, chakra alignment readings, ancestor messages, and what's blocking me. All right? So if you're interested in any of those readings and you want the special, feel free to inbox me on any of my socials. You can send me an inbox message on here. Or you can email me, or inbox me on any other platform that you may have me on. It doesn't matter. And I will send you the information to book. Okay? Other than that, love and light. This will go up on YouTube later on tonight for those who missed it or came in later. So just click the link in my bio, the YouTube button, and subscribe. Turn on the notifications so you know when the live is going on tonight. Of course, if you need any help with your shadow work, with your childhood trauma healing, those are the 2 areas that I specialize in. So definitely feel free to book those services via my website. Other readings are also available on my website. If you want a longer reading or different topics, those are also available. Consultations are available. I do have a chakra alignment book that is available via Amazon, but you can just go on my website. It'll take you right to the Amazon link for you to purchase it. I have shadow work books. I have astrology guides. I have all types of shit. Okay, so just go on the website, see what you like, see what calls to you, and book accordingly. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I will see y'all tomorrow. We will do our astrological breakdown tomorrow, so we'll get into all of that. And yeah, okay.